Hello, and welcome to this week's episode on the Parenting Collective podcast. I'm super excited to be joined again by the incredible Dr. Elizabeth Milovidov. She's the global head of parental advocacy at Roblox. Yes, the big Roblox. Roblox, we had part one, so you want to go back and listen to that about the safety and security around protecting our kiddos and talking to parents on the ground to hear what they're wanting for the change that's about to happen. Continuing to happen. So for a really exciting discussion that we're going to have about the brand new Roblox safety updates launching here in Australia for the first in the time in the world, will be in Australia on the May 19th. So in this episode, we're going to dive into the new Roblox Kids account, which is from a range of 5 to 8 year olds and so many strict restrictions on there. Amazing. And then Roblox Select, which is for accounts for 9 to 15 year olds. So we talk about what the changes actually mean for the families with the younger children. So, as we discussed and we know, and myself being a parent, I know how many parents feel really overwhelmed trying to navigate screens, the digital world, gaming, any online connection, while still wanting your kids to be safe, connected, and everything sort of age appropriate, but still be able to be on some of these platforms because we can't just get rid of it. The world is not going to just go back to where it was. It's forever evolving and we need to walk beside them. We need to be feeling safe that when they're on a platform of some kind, of whatever that is, but particularly Roblox, that they are going to be safe and have fun. Today, we're breaking it down in a really practical and supportive way with Dr. Elizabeth. So we're going to be talking about the safety, age-appropriate gaming, the healthy boundaries, connections, and all of that around the informed information that's going to be released on these new age-appropriate accounts. So I hope you enjoy it as much as we did. Please leave comments, ask away. Everything's going to be in the show notes if needed. We'll speak to you next week. Elizabeth, Dr. Elizabeth, welcome back. I'm so excited to have you here again.
Oh my goodness. No, Donna, I am more excited to be back. Thank you so much for inviting me. I enjoyed our conversation last time, so let's do it again this time.
We need to spread the news, don't we? Particularly here in Australia. Because like I was just saying to you, the conversation around Roblox is big and positive and all sorts of things, but I think the truth needs to come out of the safety and the levels that you go to, and I was thrilled to be part of this. So let's really deep dive into it. So, coming back of the same conversation of families really trying to navigate the digital world, the negativity that we've heard about Roblox, we've talked about before, but really the lengths of what Roblox is doing behind the scenes as a parental advocacy, as you are, and what's going to be launched on the 19th of May to protect our kiddos even more. So the age-based accounts, I'd love for you to deep dive into that for us today.
Absolutely. So I think, yes, as we mentioned last time, right? So Roblox has created my role, which is Global Head of Parental Advocacy. So as I told you before, I am the voice of parents, and I'm just so excited to have this role and to be that sort of bridge. So one of the things that is super cool is that with our parent council and our extended parent champions, we really take back what parents have said. And parents have told us, as you mentioned yourself, you get the good with the bad. And they've told us lots of things. And one of them was that really they just wanted a place where they knew that their kids were going to be safe, and they didn't want to think their kids are playing with strangers or chatting with strangers. And based on that, and the actual parent council members sitting there saying, we would love to have like a kind of curated safe space of topics that we know with developers that have been vetted. And that's what's coming out on May 19th in Australia first. So I think you guys are so lucky to get this before we roll out to other countries. But basically, it's this breakdown of Roblox Kids. So for children who are 5 to 8, and then Roblox Select for children who are 9 to 15. And so all sorts of little different things there, but we can go into that in a second. But like I said, I just want parents to understand that this is a result of your voices being heard. So keep them coming too.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Absolutely. Yep. On the ground. Because we're living it, aren't we, us parents? So you do hear, and it was only last month that we had our first conversation. So, so much in-depth conversations around it. So let's deep dive.
Let's deep dive. So with Roblox Kids, what is so cool, as I said, that's from 5 years old to 8. Great age because they really want to get started. They want to see what their other friends are doing. And so, of course, I tell all the parents, please link those accounts so that way you can guide your children. For the older children, it can be a little bit different.
Yeah.
I would say older. How old are your children again?
Yeah, 21, 18, and 15. But so yeah, old as that horse is bolted as we talk about. But what I love what you're creating here, and it's a bit like what we talked about with the over 16 regulations that have come here in Australia. It's not going to help me now with my 15-year-old. It's just not. But it's the upcoming generations in the next few years. What you're creating is amazing. So the children at 5 to 8 have the parents right there beside them, and all this what you've created.
Exactly. And we love that idea. And I also want to mention that even though the parents are right there beside them, for something that's really cool, and I'll mention in a second, it's just our learning hub. So that way parents realize they don't have to have a Roblox account to get some of the educational materials. But
Yeah.
let me
Yeah.
go back. So we were talking about, the 5 to 8. And so those games, they have to pass a 3-step process, right? So we're just really making sure that this content is what parents would want their kids to see. They have to have the maturity ratings, which are minimum and mild. And I will tell you the truth, Donna, some of the parents were talking about, these maturity ratings, it's kind of confusing. So the
Right.
good news is that we will be shifting in September, if I'm not mistaken, to the international rating system, which is very similar to what you use in Australia with the Australian
Australia.
Classification Board. So it
Mhm.
will be the same thing that parents understand. Chat is off by default. So for the 5 to 8,
No
no
chat.
more. Don't even think about it. Yeah,
Yep.
don't even think about it. And of course, we still have the parental controls. And something that I find so cool that some of my parents have talked about is the fact that even the screen is a different color. So that
I was
means
just going to
you can
say
be
that.
yeah, you could
Yes.
be in the kitchen and looking over and saying, "Hey, what are they playing?" And if you see they're on the blue screen, you know they're in Roblox Kids. You can
Yeah.
feel confident that they're looking at created great content.
Yeah.
If you see them on the black screen, you're not going to freak out. You're going to say, "Hey, what's that? Are they on Roblox Select, which is for
Mhm.
the kids that are 9 to 15, and also regular Roblox is also with this black background."
Yeah.
But again, so I just mentioned Roblox Kids, Roblox Select. I'll tell you quickly about that. So the same thing, the games have to go through that 3-step review process. They have the maturity ratings, but this time it's not minimum mild, it's moderate. So,
Yeah.
a little bit different. And the child is gradually introduced into the different safeguards, and parental controls have been extended up to 15. So your
Yeah.
15-year-old
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
got out of it. Yeah.
Oh, look, like I said, it's okay. We've done it now, but everybody else that I'm supporting and listening, they've got all this great, amazing stuff to protect their kiddos.
Yeah. And it's just they have to realize that it's there and
Yeah.
to dig in there and take a look, take a peek. And honestly, Donna, I want them to know that you're available and I'm available if there's anything that they don't
Oh,
understand. So
absolutely.
let's answer those questions for them so that way we can, make them feel empowered and realize that they can do this.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love it. And like I said, every time we've met up, I've met with your team because I'm so interested in it. Because again, reflection of some of the, like we said, bad and good, when people make those comments, I'm very much of the belief that, and we talked about this in part one, you can cover your eyes as a parent and cover your ears and keep them in a cotton ball nest and go, nope, you're not having this and you're not having that. Okay, that's your prerogative and there's no judgment. It's not the world we live in. It is not the
Right.
world we live in. And unless you're homeschooling and living in the bush somewhere, they're going to be seeing things when they're not under our care, right? And so the thing is, with what I'm loving about Roblox and getting to understand you all and the team where I talk about, is that's really building up from the get go, like from a parent who's a little bit interested into the child talking about it, of having it all structured. It's actually sounds really easy for the parent to understand it too, and
Oh
not
my
just to
gosh.
be watching them all the time.
Yes, and you just, oh my gosh. Okay, now you got me so excited, Donna. You said the words that I love. Okay, we're going back to our conscious parenting, digital
Yes,
conscious
yes,
parenting.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, so this is exactly right because you're going to be giving your child the skills that they need. So when you're not looking over their shoulder, they know what to do. But when you can look over their shoulder, you need to keep guiding them and keep talking to
Yep,
them. And, this is with Roblox or any other, online activity. So I
absolutely.
really want, your community to understand, yes, I'm here for Roblox, but I am your parental advocate for all things
Yeah.
AI,
Mhm.
internet, technology devices, because as you said, this is the world.
Oh
This
my
is the
God.
world that we live in. So
Breathtaking. Yeah.
yeah, so let's upskill them, let's help them, and let's make sure
Totally.
that they know to come to us
Mm.
if they do have an issue, if they do have a problem. And this is something that a lot of parents might not be thinking about is that even if you lock down your device, it's going to be that other kid, that other neighbor, or the fun
I'm
cousin
telling you.
who's going to
Yeah.
be talking and showing them something. So even if we have Roblox Kids locked down 5 to 8, you
Mm-hmm.
might have that cousin who says, "Oh, look what I found."
What's
So
happened?
teach your kids some strategies about, oh, I'm not allowed to look at that one yet, but later on I can.
Totally. And look, I don't know if I use this in part one, but I do use it a lot. Parenting's like whack-a-mole, particularly with whack-a-mole, when they pop up and whack them down in
Yes.
regards to where it's going to pop up next, especially
Yeah.
with the social media and the way the digital world that we live in. We cannot pretend that we can protect our children forever with it. And my concern is, and this is just my concern working with so many
Yeah.
families, is that if we completely restrict it until 16 and then all of a sudden they have full access to everything, how
Yeah.
are they going to navigate that? Are the parents going to understand it? Like, again, that's a bit probably over dramatic, but I'm just like, you know what? These kids need to be educated in the world that we live in. And so do us parents, or a parent in the family, a caregiver.
Agreed. 1,000% agreed. And one of the things that I so admire about Julie Inman Grant, your e-safety commissioner, also a California
I know.
California gal, is that, even though you do have your social media ban in Australia, I mean, she knew that there was going to have to be tweaks and adjustments. But I think what has been brilliant about it, Donna, is that it's gotten this conversation going
Yeah,
in all around, because
I love it.
Julie has been there like me, 15 years more doing this, and parents really weren't listening. I mean,
Um,
you have a great e-safety commissioner website with parent guides on Roblox, on
for a long
how many
time.
parents go, how many
Yeah.
parents go to the
None.
websites, and it's
Until it's too late. And,
yeah,
and not mean, and again, there's no judgment on any parent. We're all doing the best we can. But again, going through what we, for myself, been through with no real regulation as much as what it has been in the last 5, 6 years and currently, we're all sort of, again, scrambling of how to work it out. But now there is so many great boundaries and really safe, kind, firm boundaries that still allows them to, you know, learn
yeah,
and
yes.
be, yeah, a little bit adapted to things before they leave home. And I haven't been allowed to be on anything. I don't know if that happens these days.
Right. No, but Donna, think about this. Do you remember going to like the kids' parties and you could always realize which child was not allowed to have
Uh-huh.
any
Lolly.
sugar or any lot? There
That
you
was
go.
me. My dad, it was terrible. And I don't know if we talked about this in part one, but my dad was like that. And I grew up in the country. But then when I left home at 17, I ate all the crap I could I put on like 10 kilos because I'd never allowed to have it. And so I just ate it all. And it's the
Yeah.
same. It's the
Thank you, Donna.
same.
It's the
It
same.
is,
Yeah. We've
like
got to teach
we
them
need to
about
support them.
nutrition.
Yes, yes.
We got to
That's a
teach them
long
about
journey.
balance.
But
Yeah.
same thing with that, it's the same with the digital world. And again, we're talking about Roblox, but it's not being frightened. Figure out, be educated. And this is the thing, people that say all these negative things about anything, again, not trying to judge, they're not very educated in it. And if
I,
I didn't
I will
believe,
say they don't know. They just don't
that
know
sounds
because
nicer, doesn't it? That sounds very
yeah,
Australian.
it sounds nice. Yeah,
Okay.
because you can be super educated and
Totally.
you just don't know. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And that's the
Yeah.
thing. I'm so thrilled to be able to share you
Yeah.
here on my platform. But again, if it wasn't
You're doing the
something that,
work.
yeah, totally. But if it wasn't something I was aligned with, no matter how big Roblox is, I wouldn't have been able to have these conversations because I'm just, you know,
Yeah.
I'm going to
We're
share.
fans.
Yes. We're fans of each other, which is great. So yeah, so back onto so we've got 5 to 8, which is the kids, which is the blue screen. No, absolutely defaulting to mild, no chat at all, and so
Right.
many restrictions on there, which is great. The other thing that, again, correct me if I'm wrong, that if you do choose not to get your
Facial age estimate, age
yeah,
check. Yep.
you can still go on Roblox, but you will be in that kids under 9. You will be in that as an adult with no chat. So
Exactly.
you have to show ID or you have to do age recognition to get into those
Yes.
groups, which is like what everyone's talking about,
This is what isn't this what people wanted,
Yeah,
to be
it
in
is.
the correct category. So
Yeah,
we've given it to you. So
you have.
exactly right. So
You have.
but what's also cool, Donna, I don't know if you realize this part, is that Australians have done a really good job with age checking,
Yeah.
so 70%, yeah, 70% have age checked. So I'm just like,
Wow,
wow,
already in Roblox. And I think
yes, yeah,
that's where I'm feeling the change in tide too, is like what I was doing for the last 10 years, struggling to understand with my kids, getting through the other side, now educating and being around families. These young families want to do the right thing. You give it to them clearly and easily. They want to protect their children.
of course.
And that's amazing. 70% is huge.
It's really huge, but it's just as you said, you give it to them clearly,
Yeah.
simply, and that's something that we're still working on, still
Yeah.
ongoing,
Always.
trying to figure
Yeah.
out how to get the messaging out and even asking the parent council members what resonates for you and in your area, because let's not forget Roblox is global.
I
So we
know.
have to, figure out all of these things for the different areas. But yes, so far I think the
Yeah.
Australian parents have done a great job.
Yeah,
Great
that's
job.
amazing. And I do feel like that shift, like I was saying. And again, exciting that it will be launched first here on the 19th of May in Australia. So we are
Yes.
very lucky for that. So definitely want to talk about that. So the next select is 9 to 15. So introduction to chat a little bit, like just like you said, moderate.
Exactly. And so this makes sense because this is kind of like your child's development, right? We have a child developmental psychologist. We are really looking at why this is more appropriate to have content that is specific for those
Yeah.
little brains and that, adapts as you go up.
Yeah, I love that. So the other question that I had, and I'm sure you'll be able to answer it, when it's being launched, it's going to be a little bit like the social media bans here. If you're already on Roblox, your child's already on Roblox and hasn't done a facial recognition or ID, you can still choose not to do that because that's your just choice. But that child, if they're 10, will not be able to go into that next group. They will have to stay into that 5 to 8 or 9.
Yep, stay in the default group.
Yeah.
Yep, so Roblox Kids.
Yeah,
Yes.
but if they've been already facially recognized, they'll go into the correct group, age appropriate. Is that right?
Exactly. Yes. And I also want to reassure parents that if for any reason the facial age estimation is off, because it is, within a year or two,
Yeah.
you can go back into the dashboard
Edit it.
and edit it. Yeah.
That's
So,
which is then on us, isn't it, as parents, It sounds like what I'm loving is Roblox is doing the best they can, the best they actually can, but you cannot control every facet of every family. So then
no,
that's on us
no.
as parents to be like, right, they've given us this. How do we work it easily and to the best to keep our kids safe?
Exactly. But that's why this type of partnership that we have between, Roblox and the parenting community, this is huge because
Huge.
this keeps the information going back and forth. And I would even say that it's even bigger than you and I, Donna. I think, for our next call,
Not you.
yeah, it's me and you
Yeah.
and but for our next call, we should have like e-safety commissioner. We should have,
Oh my gosh,
because
absolutely.
these are the links because it's all of us as a community, educators, bring in a teacher, let them talk about how Roblox is, just expanding in the classroom because
So many things.
so many things done. I'm giving you just a whole
I know.
schedule of podcast ideas.
Meeting each other. The other thing that I thought might be good with our busy times is actually asking listeners to give their questions in and literally having, podcasts are answering questions or something. I
Let's
don't
do
know
it.
that.
Yeah, let's do it. But for there, I'm also going to make sure I have one of our super tech people with
Okay,
me,
yeah.
a total product specialist, just because you say deep dive and it's like,
Oh,
I've done
totally.
all, I know how to use it and how to
I
play
know.
and everything else, but
Okay.
it's like if
Deep dive's a
people are
bit
going to,
scary. You're deep diving for me. That's what I mean.
yeah, I deep dive into digital parenting. Yeah, that's
right.
my subject matter expertise. So
Totally,
let's
totally.
go.
Let's go. And the other thing then is, so Roblox Select is 9 to 15, and then Roblox Normal is 16 and up. Still very
Yes.
vetted. I was getting information which is really interesting, which I didn't really understand, is the developers of the games are not part of Roblox, but the vetting system that comes in with that. So there's lots of vetting that comes in all the time in that space, and then through to the younger ages. So that it's not just someone's uploading things and anyone can see it. There's lots of ways that Roblox vets the developers of these games, or not the games. Is that
Exactly.
correct in the way I'm
Yeah,
saying?
no, you paraphrased it perfectly. And I think that's something that's important for parents to know, because I think some of the issues that they might have had, some of the challenges, was the fact that it was just all this user-generated content on Roblox. And they're like, who's doing it? What?
Is that correct?
Of course, there's still going to be user-generated content, but right now, if you're looking at Roblox Kids and Roblox Select, and it's gone through this, review process, this tier process, we're making sure that, you're getting the age-appropriate, developmentally appropriate content for children 5 to 8, 9 to 15, at least what we think. But you as parents have the agency to say, oh, my 14-year-old can look at stuff that's on regular Roblox, and you can, change the parental controls. You can do it.
Oh, yes, they can. And again, we keep saying about how, again, I love sharing the news of how much Roblox puts into this and having you there to be the advocacy for parents, for people on the ground. So, so thank you so much for sharing that today. I mean, it's going to be so exciting for me to share all of that. Is there anything else that you would like to share with the different accounts? Just I mean, it's just doubling on the safety, which we were talking about in part 1 as well. Go back to listen to that if people haven't listened to part 1.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm sitting here trying to think if there was anything, but I really would say for parents, I mean, this is technology, right? Things are going to keep changing. We're going to keep innovating because that's our world. But I would really encourage all of your parents to keep talking to each other and to
Yeah.
keep talking to you, because
Yeah.
that's the best way to learn. You know, there might be a little trick that another parent has learned on Roblox that you can
Yep.
share. And
Yep.
so keep that out there and then keep us informed. Let us know, the good and the not so great, because
Yeah,
that way we
totally.
can work on it and fix it. And
Yeah.
so that I'm counting on you, Donna. I'm
Oh
counting on you.
gosh, yes,
But
absolutely. And constructive criticism, isn't it? We've got to do the best we can when we're on these platforms, and
you're
there
a
might be a
critical friend.
platform up. Yeah, it's we have you want the feedback, both positive and not so, but that's okay because we learn from it.
Exactly.
So I'm
And
really
again, I want to just,
excited.
sorry, Donna, I was just going to say one more thing. I also just really think that it's very cool that Australia does get this first, May 19th, and that we're going to roll out later. And that's because the country is already a leader
Yeah,
in online
it is.
literacy. And so, and I think that parents, give yourself a pat on the back and let's keep going.
Well, I think so too. And like I love the conversation. I love the conversation, and this is like the knowledge is power, like we could keep talking about. But yeah, so many wonderful things to come, and I can't wait to share them. And yeah, watch
Let's
this
go.
space. But yeah, thanks for your time today,
Absolutely.
Dr. Elizabeth, and we'll speak to you soon.
You soon, Donna.
See you soon. Bye bye. So if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave me a rating and review. I love reading all of your messages, so shoot me a DM over on Instagram. It is parentingcollective.au. I also offer a free 15-minute no obligation phone chat. If you'd like to book one, head over to my website www.parentingcollective.com.au and request one there. So try to remember to be kind to yourself and always know you're doing the best you can every day, no matter what your day is looking like. Until next time, much love.